If your spouse passed away, I'm sorry, because it's certainly not something easy to go through, but unfortunately I have to hear about it somewhat often in my profession. I want to make sure that you are not leaving any money on the table, especially if your loved one worked very hard for those dollars. So in today's video, you're going to see me go over exactly what you need to know. So if you are inheriting any retirement account, you're going to know about the tax implications and how to avoid those excise tax penalties, which can be huge. Once again, my name is Taublieb. I'm a certified financial planner. I am the host of the Early Retirement Podcast, and I'm Vice President here at Root. Let's hop right in. Number one, you can keep the account in your own name. So what that means is if your spouse passes away, you can say that's now an inherited IRA and you can keep it in their name, okay? So you have the absolute ability to do that. Now, whether you want to do that, it's a different story, okay? What you're also able to do is move that into your own IRA account. The difference is why you want to think through this beyond just should I do it to keep it in their name because it was their account or my name because I want the funds. Either way, what you need to think through is the tax implications. That's the big thing here. Because if you want to make sure that you're being smart with taxes, one, work with a tax planner, but two, understand the following. If you leave it in the inherited IRA, you have to take what are called RMDs, required minimum distributions, out of that account based on the life expectancy of that person. So there's a table that defines when they have to start taking the funds. If you put it into your account, you have a different choice. What that means is your choice is to take the funds based on your schedule, based on that life expectancy table. So what you want to do is ask yourself, okay, what's going to make most sense for my specific strategy? Every single person is going to be different, which is why I recommend that you work with a planner so you don't make the wrong decision. But if you're trying to make this on your own, there's nothing wrong with that. I like that you're educating yourself. That's why I make these videos. So I don't like just saying it depends and then not giving helpful guidance. Let me show you this table and see if this helps you out. I know it's not perfectly clear, so I'm sorry about that, but this is a table I put together really quickly, just summarizing the RMD rules when you inherit an account, both before and after the Secure Act. So the Secure Act, before the Secure Act went in place, so 2019, when you received those dollars from designated beneficiaries, meaning you were listed, you could take those RMDs based on their own life expectancy, their spouse, or you have to liquidate it within 5 years. That was the option. After the Secure Act, so if this person passed after 2020, meaning if they passed recently, you have the ability to take that entire balance, but you have to do it over 10 years. So what you can do is say, you know what, I want to take, a portion this year, every year for 10 years, or you can take it all out in 1 year. It's totally up to you. Now, same thing here. What I want you to read is before the Secure Act, 2019, if this was a non-designated beneficiary, so not a spouse, for example, no beneficiary was listed, same thing. Take based on their own life expectancy, or liquidate within 5 years, and that has to be depleted within 10 years if they passed away after 2020. So the question to ask yourself is, when did they pass away? Now, you know the answer. I'm not making you think about this again. Emotionally, I know it's difficult. This is what I need you to think through. Now, here's where it gets complicated, and I'm not telling you this to scare you. This is just the truth of planning, is I don't know what you have going on in your life. Meaning, if you're still working today and you inherited these dollars, do you also want to take RMDs from it? Probably not if you don't have to, should I say. The reason for it is they are going to get taxed at the highest bracket. When you take money out of that inherited IRA account, assuming it's not a Roth beneficiary IRA, that is taxed as if you just made more money. It's called an ordinary income tax. So if you're in the 24% bracket and you're going to take funds, what's going to happen is those funds that you're going to pull, it might keep you in the 24% bracket if you still have some room to fill it up, or it might jump you to the next bracket. It might put you in the 32% bracket. So if you have to take those funds, you could be paying a ton in taxes, and I don't want you to have to do that. So you have to strategize. Are other RMDs already going to be an issue for you? And what about the timing of your retirement? You have to make sure everything's talking to one another. I know it's a lot, but it's important. Now, if you were supposed to take RMDs and you just didn't because you didn't know, one, of course, make sure to speak with a planner, but I'm going to stop saying that. Make sure that you at least amend that as soon as possible, because there can be as much as a 50% excise tax. What that means is if your RMD on the account was supposed to be $10,000, you might be taxed up to $5,000. It could be a 50% excise tax on that, depending, of course, on when they passed away, either 50% or 25%. So whether they pass before 2019 or after 2019, a lot of changes. For most people that are coming to me now, the reality is that they need to start taking their RMDs and being strategic, but they have 10 years to do it. So the timing of when you want to implement that, that's where you get to be a little bit intentional. Not a little bit, a lot, okay? Because you want to make sure you don't pay any more tax than you need to. So you want to base it on all your income factors. If you have a pension or Social Security or rental income or your wages, you want to connect all the dots so you don't put too much into one given year, but you still deplete it by the end so you don't actually have to pay all these crazy penalties and taxes. Once again, when you're looking at your RMDs, you have a really good plan of your personal RMDs that when someone passes, you understand the implications of every single account and what that could mean for you. Because is it an inherited IRA? Is it a taxable account that's coming to you? Is it a brokerage account? If someone's leaving behind what's called a taxable account or a brokerage account or a joint account, they all mean the same exact thing. The government just makes it as confusing as humanly possible. So sorry about that. What's gonna happen is you get a step up in basis. So let's assume I bought Apple stock for 10,000 bucks and it grows to $1 million. Well, when I pass away, my heirs are going to be able to inherit that and not pay any taxes. They're just gonna have that $1 million in Apple stock and they're gonna love me, okay? I'll be the best grandpa ever at that point. What I want you to do is understand what account is coming to you and what are your options. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you want more specific guidance, of course, this is what we love to help people with. So reach out to us and we will craft a custom strategy so you can tackle all of these RMD complications in light of your holistic financial plan, which covers everything from investments to estate to insurance. We do it all, because if not, it'd be really hard to say we're a true fiduciary. So I hope that this video was helpful. Love you guys.